Greetings, this is Brother Esquire from the All Men Are Not Created Equal podcast. Please join us this Sunday, March 16th at 4 p.m., where we will have with us Brother Abdul Malik Muhammad, who will discuss the prison industrial complex and how he survived 12 years of a federal prison stint, but more importantly, how he's thriving now as a youth advocate, as a sought-after author, speaker. Brother Warren has a compelling story. Has a sneak peek. Take a look.
It was a mighty journey. I did 12 years. I went to prison for something that I did for me. Coming up under that hostile environment made it easy for me to get involved in the life of crime. I remember when I was in El Reno, I heard that my father was on his way. I looked up, and the old man, started talking slick to me. So I looked up, and behold, it was my father. Man, I was in high school just like y'all, so we got a lot in common coming from there. But I done upgraded. I don't sell dope no more. I sell buildings.
Word.
Make 100,000 here, 150 there. You see what I'm saying? I can get it now. I wasn't compromising, but every youngster that come off a Crip Blood, GD Vice Lord, Blackstone, we come in there with the warrior mentality. They make assault. They breaking me, but they using, just like on a slave plantation, they would use older people to make the young bucks a little bit more submissive, a little bit more compromising. So I became compromised, and I got disciplinary transfer anyways because I still wasn't hearing it.
What was the changing point?
My changing point came from being spiritually awakened. And I didn't give the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the time of day because of the influence that I received from the media. So I sat down and allowed the man to speak to me, and I cried. Because the last thing I want to be is a sucker, and I had been there. You told me he was this, media, but it turned out he was none of that. And that ignited me. That speech, above all, ignited me to fight and do what I do. Why am I doing this? What's my point? What's my motivation?
Brother Esquire, first I want to thank Almighty God, to whom we refer to by so many incredible names, but that one God who came, seeked and searched and found us, lost found people here in North America. We want to thank God for giving us an opportunity to come before you this afternoon and to occupy a little bit of your time and some of your space. My name is Brother Esquire, and I would like to also thank our partners at NNB News, who will be carrying this broadcast across several social media platforms. We're going to discuss the prison industrial complex, and we know that the prison industrial complex has skyrocketed since the early 1920s. There were less than 250,000 Americans incarcerated in 1920. However, due to some intentional policies, due to some chicanery when it comes to laws that were passed, legislation, we've seen the prison industrial complex balloon, and the uptick has been tremendous since 1984, the Sentencing Reform Act. we have with us today a young man who's going to discuss his journey and how he defied the odds. But before we get into his particular story, which is extremely compelling, we're also going to provide some context into recidivism, how that started, how that continues, and also what are some of the remedies for the prison industrial complex. We have with us a young man who spent 12 years in federal prison, and he is now a tremendous youth advocate. He's a spiritual speaker, a sought after author, and just an all around good brother. And he's going to discuss with us his journey and how he was able to transform and reform his life after prison. And without any further ado, I'd like to bring forth our beloved brother Abdul Malik Muhammad, formerly Warren 2X. Assalamu alaikum, soldier. You're on mute, so we're going to see if we could get the production team to get you off mute in a quick second, sir. Okay, we're going to try it again. Brother Musa, if we could get our dear brother off of mute so we could start the podcast. And while we wait for Brother Musa and the production team to work on that, we've been getting a tremendous amount of response from friends, from family, from those who are just interested in hearing Brother Abdul Malik's stories. And in a few moments, you're going to hear our dear brother. Brother Abdul Malik, can you hear me, sir? Okay, I'm trying to hear you, and let me see if we could get it going. 1 second. Brother Musa, if you could bring him to the forefront, please. Okay. Again, assalamu alaikum, sir. Brother Abdul Malik, I have I think some technical difficulties on my end. I'm going to see if I can get it right. Okay, I can't hear you, but you can hear me, correct? All right, let me see if my production team could get it going. And those of you who are out there in Facebook land and IG land and YouTube land, if you can hear Brother Abdul Malik, give me a thumbs up or put in the chat yes. And if you can hear me, just put in the chat yes. We're going to try to work through some of the technical difficulties we're currently experiencing. Okay, give me 1 second, Brother Malik. 1 second. We got to get this right because this story that you're going to tell is extremely compelling. Okay. Malik, are you there? Oh man, it's my mic. No, we can't hear. They said they can't hear you out there. I cannot hear him at all, my brother. Brother Malik, I think it might be your mic that's yeah, they said they can't hear you yet, sir. So it's I think it's on your end. Let's see if we can get your mic working. And we're just going to ask our listening audience, our viewing audience, just be a bit patient with us while we work through some of these technical difficulties. In fact, as a background, we were on at 3:15. Everything was working at 3:15, between 3:15 and 4 o'clock when we came on. And now I'm hearing they can't hear neither one of us. So we're going to have to try to work this out. Brother Musa, can you hear me back there, Brother Musa? Okay, can you hear Brother Malik? Brother Musa. Brother Malik, we have to try to get your line on. You may have to log out and then log back in. Well, in the meantime, Brother Musa, if you could just go through some of the slides while I set up Brother Malik a little bit more. So when we talk about the prison industrial complex, we're talking about a complex, but it's very complex because there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of players that goes into the prison industrial complex. And I just want to just show you a chart after this. $5.1 million are spent on private prison. And the private prison owners, you may have heard of CoreCivic, the Geo Group. In fact, the Geo Group trades on the New York Stock Exchange. And we know once you have a private industry that is for-profit driven, they're going to now spend money on lobbyists, on various elected officials to ensure that their enterprise, their corporation, does not end up in the red, but end up in the black. And so what does that mean? That means that you have a for-profit corporations who are hell-bent on making sure that their company ends up in the black by ensuring that there are policies, there are rules, there are regulations that are conducive to their business mission, their business purpose. And when we look at the Geo Group, these private prisons are all over the United States. And these private prisons are traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And we have investors who are taking what they feel is a financial risk and investing in our prison industrial complex to ensure that bodies occupy the beds in the prisons that they've built, in the prisons that they run, in the prisons that they administer. And therefore, the policies are directly correlated to the numbers we see as far as the uptick in the prison population. And Brother Malik, once we get him live, he's going to give us his story on what he did to help reform his life, transform his life, and the work that he's doing now in the streets. And I think I have my good brother back on the line. Brother Malik.
Can you hear me?
Oh, man. Finally, sir. And we had to work through some stuff. And I just want to thank the production team back there working diligently. They're not on the screen, but they're back there working extremely hard. The production team from NNB News for doing what they do. Brother, greetings. Assalamu alaikum.
Malik salam, sir.
Well, we started off this episode with a brief promo of your life and what you've been through and what you're acquiring and what you're achieving at this moment. But for our studio audience, I want to just go back a bit in terms of your childhood and how and we're going to travel through to see how you got to where you are now. So if you could just give us a little background, where you from, brother, and what has your life been as a young person?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the name of Allah, the merciful, assalamu alaikum once again. Brother, first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to express myself here on Esquire. So I'm from Oakland, California. I'm from Chicago, but I was raised in Oakland, California. You know, like my documentary tells you, up under drug dealers. My dad was a drug kingpin out in Oakland. My mom was his counterpart. And I grew up under a drug-infested environment. And coming up in that environment, you know, I saw all of the things that you wouldn't let a child see. But ultimately, my dad got busted, and they shipped me to Chicago. So when I got to Chicago at 11 years old, you know, I went to my uncle's, my grandmother's house, and it was very, very poor atmosphere. So I got with the gangs and the drugs and started doing what my daddy did. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. You know, Go ahead, Fruit.
So what in the gangs attracted you as a young person? Because we have many of our elders now that feel perplexed as to why young people are so attracted to the street organizations.
Well, we're tribalistic people anyways before we came to America. So when I saw the tribes around my neighborhood, I wanted to be in the tribe instinctively. So what attracted me is that they had brotherhood. May not have been so positive, but they had brotherhood, and I wanted to be in that. Plus, I wanted to be with my peers. I wanted to hang out with the brothers, you know. So that's how I ended up becoming a Black Peace Stone, you know, on the north side of Chicago, you know, and start doing everything that they do. Introduced to drugs. I already knew about drugs. So if you wanted to sell some drugs, you want to gang bang, you want to shoot, same thing they do in the day. This is nothing new under the sun. That's why I don't get too rough with those brothers and sisters that I see going through what I used to do. You know, that's why they relate with me. You know, so that's how I got in.
So how old were you when you first were incarcerated or even arrested or detained?
I got arrested at 20, but my crime was from when I was 17 years old. So I was really selling dope and doing everything at 17, 18, 19, 20 when they arrested me. And but they hit me with the 85% federal incarceration time. So I ended up getting life in prison. They reduced it to 15 years because of my lawyer was able to show that I was an adolescent when the crime started. So that saved me from getting life in prison. So I ended up doing 15 years anyways, you know, so that's how it went down.
So it seems like your story is a bit different than some of the other guests that I've had on the show when it came to the prison industrial complex and how they were introduced to crime, how they were introduced to, you know, jail. Many were, introduced through some sort of juvenile detention home, and then it kind of escalated. But for you, you made it through your whole teenage years without being arrested and had to face incarceration at the age of 20.
Yeah, I thought I was slick, you know, so I never went to the juvenile detention center. I ducked that. But, you know, Allah is the best knower, because I didn't want to do the 20 years. I mean, the 15 years. If I had wrote the script, then I would have wrote the script that I just did a year and came home and started selling dope again. But Allah knows the sickness that I had. And by knowing that sickness, he gives the prescription. He gave me a prescription of 15 years. He could have gave me life, but that was too much prescription. He gave me 15 years. I did that. Had I not did that, it wouldn't have transformed me to be the top fisherman in the Nation of Islam today. I needed that medication in order for me to be effective with my people out here. So I'm not mad at my situation at all, Esquire.
Yes, sir. And you know what? We're going to get into your fisherman heroics later on in the program. And for some of our listening guests who don't know what a fisherman is per se, not the occupation in the traditional sense, but in the spiritual sense, we're going to talk about that later on, a bit later on in the program. But I want to talk a bit about what was it like at 20 years old, the first time that you had to go behind those prison walls. I'm sure for many who have to do it for the first time, it's a horrifying experience, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's horrifying, because when you come on there, when you come out the tunnel into the atmosphere with 1,500 men who've been in there 15, 20, 30 years, these are animals. Some of them are, but most of them are good. But when you come out, they're looking at you like fresh meat. You know, they looking at you like these some cutie pies coming out. Like we would see cutie pies in the street, but I don't know this. I'm a rookie. So when you come in there, the first thing you got to do is establish some type of line in the sand against these predators. Because if you don't, then you'll be a sissy when you come out, LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't go in there as LGBTQ. But that didn't happen to the black man. The black man had hands.
Got it. so you had to let those hands fly on a few occasions at least, huh?
What? Are you serious? But you know what? They gave me what I always wanted to do anyways. I just came from game banging. So this is right for picking. Plus I had my mob there and they rescued me right out the gate and we went in and established, some grounds in that. So it's not for the weak of the faint. So if you got something if you don't do the crime if you can't do the time, because you're going to have to go through something in there if you weak. I've seen it come. I've seen weak ones become LGBTQ all through that. And I remember they wasn't.
Got it.
So I didn't see it, but I saw the after effects,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now you're in there now. And as you mentioned, there's some, brothers from your organized street organizations in there as well. How long did it take you to start realizing, I may have to start working on myself, bettering myself, except what was the time period like? Because I'm sure it's a process, it's not automatic. So slow me down if I'm going too fast in terms of your journey, brother.
Okay, fine. When you first get there as a 20-year-old, I like football, basketball, baseball, and everything else. So you get spent. So now I'm playing dominoes, chess, football. So I don't want to hear nothing about no spirituality. So I'm going in the circle. The same circle, merry-go-round. They got us going out here. They can have me doing it. But Allah came through a brother named Brother Robert X out of Philly. Another young FOI, but I don't know he FOI. He comes and gets me at 22 and say, hey, man, I want you to see a video. So I go with him to see the video because I'm fond of the FOI. So when I get there, it's a video with a room full of men with bow ties on. Damn. I don't want no parts of this. I'm a gangbang. I sell dope, man. I am with this. I'm going out there to do this again. This is what I'm thinking. But Allah used this brother to take me in. And then I heard the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan speaking in Atlanta. I believe it was 1991 or 1994, but it was a World Series going on at the same time. And it was 60,000 at the World Series and 60,000 listening to the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. So I'm in there listening to the minister. And from that point on, man, it just broke my heart that I had went with the media and saw him as a bigot, an anti-Semitic, a hater of Jews, a hater of white people. And then from that point on, I started studying the Nation of Islam. Ran into Jeremiah, brother Jeremiah, who's with us now. Ran into him, and we went through some things. But ultimately, it was the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan who resurrected my desire, to go ahead and start seeking knowledge. And that's how I ended up becoming who I was in prison. What I'm doing out here, I did it in prison. The people in prison know me I'm the top fisherman in prison. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know where that came from. It's just something that I had. It ain't like I knew about it. I just started doing it and people said that. But that's where it came from.
Got it. And as I was looking at your DVD, your movie that you put out, I would have to say it's a movie or documentary. I saw in some of the pictures you had brothers in there with their prison greens on or prison tans on with bow ties. And they appear to have been brothers who were studying under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. How did you see their interaction? What kind of example were they setting while being in that environment, which, as you mentioned before, it's an environment that is very challenging per se?
That the brother Robert, that's what intrigued me about him, because he's always creased up, shiny shoes, bald head, clean shaven, and serious. So that clean glass versus these dirty glasses that I see all over made me look at him and start talking to him. I thought he was about 14, 15 years older than me until one day I asked him how old he was. And he told me he was 23. I said, you ain't never a year older than me and talking this good. I said, man, you sound like a wizard. Because he, that teaching, that 5% teaching, he was just giving it to me. He from the East Coast,
Okay.
So that's what I saw that, and that's what attracted me to the Nation of Islam. No matter where we at, we're going to shine because we're the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. And that's what happened. They were the cream. It took me years to find out. Now I look back and say, man, that's why I was attracted to you all, because you was the cream of the planet Earth. So that was my quest on the Nation of Islam and chasing the Honorable Ms. Louis Farrakhan.
So were there any other brothers like yourself? Well, you mentioned, there were other brothers like Brother Robert, but were there also other brothers who saw Brother Robert like you saw Brother Robert and fell into the ranks in that particular environment the same way you did?
Oh yeah, it was Brother James X out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the captain out there. He was my lieutenant in the joint. Brother David Muhammad from St. Croix Christian Dean, who was the minister out there when he got out of jail. He was an example for me. Brother Jeremiah, who was an example for me. Brother Abel X, who's the captain out there in East St. Louis today. He was an example for me. It was a few brothers. Brother Ron X in Detroit. I saw examples, but we started fishing brothers in, and it just became, man, the nation became like the end thing for prison. It may have been about 20 of us, but it was the end thing.
So you said it may have been like 3 of you, which means that your numbers weren't necessarily the numbers that some of these other factions and groups may have had. How were you able to establish the level of respect, to set the boundaries necessary to make sure that you were protected and the other brothers were protected?
You misheard me. I didn't say it was 3. I said it was 3 brothers that affected me. It was dozens of brothers in the nation.
Okay.
We had numbers.
Got it.
But I'm saying we were fishing brothers in, and they were always coming in. No, we always had a body of brothers, so we were a force to be reckoned with. It was only about 25 to 50 of us at all times, but it was 1,500 brothers on the compound, but we were the deciding factor on that compound at all times. We facilitated when riots were going to come about. It was the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan soldiers that would ice the riots, and that would and facilitate the differences and make differences, settle their differences, and we'll go on our way without sending the joint up. So the Nation of Islam has always been the pivotal activity that stopped the violence in prison, and there's some serious violence inside the prisons.
I see that. So serving as peacemakers in the prison, how did your fellow or your ex street organization brothers look at you when you were making that transition? I'm sure
they were upset. I'm glad you asked that question, bro. That's deep. Because I was prominent in the Black Peace Stones in the prison, but the ministers pull on me was so magnetically powerful that I just came one day and told the brothers, here's my flags, brother. I'm going in the Nation of Islam. I think this is a better representation of the Black Peace Stone that we say we represent. The real Black Peace Stone, the minister said, us, the minister said that it was in you, brother. You're the Black Peace Stone. So I start arguing that case to the Black Stones in there and the Vice Lords and my brothers who love me. I said, that don't mean that I'm just turning my back on y'all. I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere that we ain't visited so that I possibly can be of some value to you, because I can't be no value to you if we go kill somebody who go get life in prison out here, all of us. So I went with the minister, and I'm no lightweight, so they're not gonna just do me like that. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it ain't just my mob that like me in prison. It's GDs from our neighborhood, from our hood. It's Crips, it's Blood, it's DC guys, it's brothers that like me, Detroit guy. So you ain't gonna just do nothing to me without them coming in and mess around and do that to your mom. So that's not gonna happen. So that's how I met. That's how I went to the nation.
Yes, sir. And there's another compelling piece of your story, your journey, your documentary that, to me, it tugged at the heartstrings, man. I'm not gonna lie. Watching it, I was like, man, when you talked about seeing your father in one of the facilities that you were in. But before you talk about that, to my listening audience and viewing audience, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to hear our brother Abdul Malik, talk about what it was like seeing his dad incarcerated with him. Can't wait for that answer. We're going to go right into our commercial break right now.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps us to highlight solutions for a brighter tomorrow. Go to nnvnews.com/donate.
This is Sister Sajida Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajida House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajidahouse.com.
The hashtag #BankBlack social media campaign made strides not only in revolutionizing how we bank, but also how we think. The movement inspired thousands of African Americans across the country to transfer or deposit millions of dollars into Black-owned banks. These are banks that will invest in urban communities, employ African Americans, support Black businesses, and inspire Black home ownership. This is a very proud moment for our culture as we are taking small, but significant, steps towards building Black power through Black wealth.
Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel at National Network View. I am Anissa Muhammad with nnvnews.com.
We're back, and we're asking our listening audience again and viewing audience, hit the subscribe button, commence a watch party, give the thumbs up. And if you have any questions, also put it in the chat, and we'll do the best that we can to have your questions answered. But Brother Abdul Malik, we left the last segment asking a question of you. How did you feel when that moment came when you saw your father incarcerated with you? What were some of the emotions that went through your mind, and what was that like, brother?
Well, it wasn't delightful, but I was happy to see my dad, because my dad is a soldier, so I knew he was coming through transit because I was in El Reno, Oklahoma, but I was serving on the line to the people who were coming in through transit. They would come through there and eat before the compound eats. So I was serving, and somebody was in front of me, playing with me, and I don't play in the penitentiary, and this dude playing with me, right? But I'm doing something, putting in place and saying something slick to me, and it kind of got me a little shocked, like somebody talking slick. What's wrong with this dude? This dude know where he at. We in gladiator school, where everyone is like, yes, sir, brother. No, sir, brother. My fault, brother. Go ahead, brother. So I look up and I see my dad. He's 235 pounds, big man. I say, good God Almighty. I threw it down. I told the boss, hey, boss, somebody take my spot. Let me go see my daddy out there. So boss said, somebody cover down for him. And I covered, and I go there, hug my dad, go out there and eat with him and sit there and talk with him. But, I'm a soldier at this time, I ain't for none. I ain't soft. I ain't sad. I'm happy to see the man because this is my dad. I know he's a soldier. I know he got them hands. They can't do much with him. So I was happy to see my dad, but he ain't the first one. It's a bunch of us in there with a father and a son. Most Blacks. I ain't seen too many whites with father and son.
Wow.
I was all right with it.
Yes, sir. And I think that's a story that's not even being told. We hear about how incarceration has become generational now amongst in our community, but to hear it live and direct the way that you gave it in your documentary, and we're asking everyone to go visit our brother on YouTube as well as his Facebook page, where you can get more of what he's talking about now in his documentary. And Brother Malik, now you're in. You've transformed your life within the prison walls. How did you prepare for your release?
For the last 10 years of my 12, I was all nation. So I had some ideas, but I was so nation that I upset nation people in the prison. I was doing too much, because that's my number one. So I really didn't prepare to come out. All I did was prepare to get the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, prayer and fasting. I started building my inner spirit so when I came home, I'll be worth something. Once I got out, like that documentary you're talking about,
yes, sir.
I did that in 4 months. I had just got out. I had 6 months halfway house. When they let me out, I had scheduled that with one of my partners who had a boutique, and I did the documentary and did everything when I had time to get out. But by 9 o'clock, I had to be back in the halfway house. So I really didn't get free until March 30th, 2003. But, the Nation of Islam got me bulletproof. I'm FO, I'm Farrakhan. I ain't no Black Peace Stone no more. Them my guys, but they got to look up at me now because of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. And I don't do anything but deter them from going back to the penitentiary because they will go.
Yes, sir.
So the Nation of Islam is the answer. Fasting and prayer. Man, I ain't never want to do no fasting and praying. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know it was no power in fasting and praying. My grandmama had been praying all their life, died broke. I wasn't with that, but the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, through the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, gave me that knowledge to be able to take that science in fasting and praying and make something out of my life. I ain't sold no dope since 1990.
Yes, sir.
But I've been well off.
Yes, sir. And I got to tell you, our chat room is on fire. I can't even keep up with all the comments that's coming through right now. I'm trying, and I'm asking the production team at this time, if you can, just bring up some of those comments as they come in. I mean, they're literally rapid fire right now coming on. Rapid fire. Well, you talk a bit about setting the example for some of the brothers inside, but I know there's a lot of work that you're doing on the outside now with our young people. And talk to me a bit about some of that work, because to be quite frank with you, many have given up on our young people. They think right now they're irredeemable. They just don't understand. You hear the talk. They wearing their pants sagging. They got tattoos all over their face and neck, and they basically have given up. And some say they believe in their Lord and Savior, but don't believe their Lord and Savior could save some of these young people. Talk to us a little bit about some of the work you do with our young people.
See, I came up the way they did, so I'm more sensitive to what they're going through. And I know that my transformation, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, came from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I know that it's not going to be easy to bring them into the Nation of Islam, so I catch them where they are, and I deal with them from that. The people who talking about them, they just don't understand that Jesus told the disciples, this is why they feel like that. They ain't nothing, their tattoos on their face. Brothers be telling me that. The reason they feel like that is because the challenge of that demon inside of them is too much for the God angel inside of them. Jesus told the 12 disciples when they were casting out demons in his name that they got to a demon, they couldn't cast him out. And Jesus cast him out, and they came and asked Jesus, why were you able to cast him out and not us? He said, well, this is a different demon. And except you go through prayer and fasting, you will never unpack those 5,000 havoc-making angels that the Quran tells you that Allah will assist you with when you're dealing with these so-called American Negroes. You'll never unpack it because you won't put no sacrifice in to get it out. This is why I'm able to get the people, because I'll pray and I'll fast 3 days a week and won't miss, because I go in there and I got 5,000 unseen realities around me that's causing them to come my way through the magnetism of Master Farad Muhammad, speaking to and through me. If you don't pray and fast, you always gonna call. That's an out. That's an out, brother Esquire. That's an out for us. Man, these niggas dead out here. They dead fruit. They dead fruit. No, you're dead. The Quran says the devil has gained mastery over them and caused them to forget the remembrance of Allah. And if you're not making your 5 prayers a day, you ain't getting the power. If you ain't fasting, you sure enough ain't getting the power. So the best out for you is to say, hey, these niggas dead. But it ain't them dead, it's us dead.
Nice. And Brother Abdul Malik, earlier on in the program, we talked about your status as the top fisherman in the nation of Islam. And for those who may not be familiar with that language, what is a fisherman and how did you become the top fisherman? Although I know the answer, there are a lot out there that may not know the answer. And if you could talk to us a bit about fishing, what it entails to be a top fisherman, and who are you fishing?
Praise be to Allah. You know, for most of us are Christians probably listening to this now because I got a lot of friends on here. Jesus saw Peter fishing in the Bible, Matthew's, and he said, hey, throw down your rod and come with me and I'll make you a fisherman of men. So that's what I am. I'm not a fisherman like you would see in the example of those fishing on fishing documentaries. I'm a fisher of men. Through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I want to make this clear to everyone. I am not the number one fisherman. The number one fisherman is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You didn't see me bring 2 million people from one mouthpiece to the lawns of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1995. So don't get it twisted. But he's not in this because he is God in person. Whether you like it or not, ask the FBI who he is. They already told you that to stop the rise of a black messiah who can electrify and unify the warlike propensities of black people, Minister Farrakhan is that messiah that you're talking about. So I'm saying to you, when you're fishing for these people, it means bringing someone over here that's got a thug that'll blow your brains out, that'll sell dope to your mama, that'll do this to your daughter, and you bring them to us, and we transform their minds, transform the way they think, the way they move, and then let them back out there, and they're no longer a demon anymore because we kill the devil. That's why we take 4 devils. I take 4 heads off and kill 4 devils. And it's not physical death. It's a mental and spiritual death that we kill and bring them into life. That's what I do. That's what makes me the top fisherman.
And I can bear witness. I've seen you bring busloads to the mosque to listen to a message that's been transforming and reforming their lives. And but back to our youth again. When we're talking about 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds who can make that fast money, and to say, I'm asking you to leave all that alone, that fast money alone, and come to the spiritual side of the equation, of the ledger. How do you provide an incentive for them to leave that fast? Because I got to be frank with you, that's a tough decision for a young person to make. They're watching their little sister go to school with holes in their shoes and looking indecent, and they know that they could stand on a corner or they could get on a computer now. Everything is about scamming. They could scam their way out, and now you're asking me to leave all that alone and come to something that may not have been proven to them yet. How do you provide an incentive for them?
In the Holy Quran, it said, this day I have perfected for you your religion and completed my favor to you and chose Islam, your nature. See, I don't care what type of dope you on. I know your nature. And this is why Willie Lynch said that don't let an interlooping negative come in, because their nature will kick in with the right words. That's why they snuff out Minister Farrakhan and all of the people that came through the nation. So when I'm dealing with them, I don't even tell them I'm coming to the mosque. When they get, when they find out they're going to the mosque, when they get on the bus. Because when you fishing, you don't tell the fish, I got a hook on a worm. You can't do that. That's not a good fisherman. So by the time they get on there, they look at my success. I do real estate. I'm a day trader. I get money. You know what I'm saying? So they see that, and I sell it to them. I sell it like it's Bitcoin, and they bite real hard. And then that next thing you know, they meet me out front at 8 o'clock in the morning at their school by the hundreds. I put them on a bus, and I'm still winning them. But before I take them to the mosque, I make sure that we are in agreement. And by the time I'm done with him from that bus, because I got one video on there called Principle and Its Pedigree, where you'll see me talking to them on the bus. They never knew they were going to the mosque. Nobody ever knew they was going to the mosque. They thought they were going out with him. They didn't buy the mosque. They bought Malik. We're going with Malik today. Where are we going? I don't know. He said he's going to take us somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes,
next
sir.
thing you know, they're at the mosque. We get there at 10. We leave at 12. We go to the gym. They don't go home until 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I got food, basketball, music. They have a great time. I got to push them out the door. They don't want to leave. But that's their nature. So they're ready to give up everything. Any drugs, any alcohol, anything that is negative, they're ready to get rid of it. I'm telling you, Fruit, Esquire, I did it too many times. I've been a top fisherman since 2003. It's 2021. Please, can't nobody beat me.
The title holder.
Because I know the science of our black people. I know the nature of us through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's what it is, brother. And I've unlocked those 5,000 havoc-making angels that Allah promised you and me that he would assist us with. But we don't want to work for him. You got to unlock a door to let somebody out the prison. And your key is prayer and fasting, like Jesus said. If you don't have that in you, then you'll stay a slave and keep them 5,000 havoc-making angels inside you because it ain't coming from the sky up there.
Yes, sir. In fact, we're going to close out the program in about 10 minutes with the fasting and praying initiative that you started. So if you could just hold that to the end for us, brother, because it's a tremendous program that you started. I just want to go back again with our young people, because I truly believe that our young people need to have the example for them to be able to make the requisite changes that we need for them to inherit, hopefully, what we're going to build and leave for them. So now, when you're talking about the music industry, when you talk about the various social engineering components that are in play with our young people, how do you address that?
You know, these are just jets flying past you, because only a small percentage of people make it to the NFL or NBA. Only a small percentage of people make it to the rap game with Jay-Z and all of them. Correct. Only a small amount of people go to the comic view and all this other stuff. So it's like me and you. When we were growing up, I'm gonna be rich. It's just it's weak, man. Ain't no roots to it. We can beat them up. But the thing is, once they get around you, man, they already hang with 9 broke friends, and they know they're gonna be the 10th one. They hanged all their life. They've been hanging with 9 broke friends. They never thought about no rap. They may say about it, but they never left the broke crew. If they come in the nation and they found some love out of this, they'll come and stay around us. They don't care about no money for real. That's just make believe. I'm telling you, man. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I do. I have them around me. I gotta push them away from me. But the messenger did say, "Don't wake up the dead unless you got something for them to do." And even if they roll with me and you, Esquire, in a car with us, here, man, here go $20, man. If y'all want something, go ahead, a piece. Let's go. They won't let us take them home.
Wow.
Where's the money at, Esquire? It's not the money. It's Master Farad Muhammad, man. They don't know it. And many of us don't know it.
Correct.
But that's what's keeping the people around us. We went from 10 people to 405 people on the prayer and fasting line, and people are on there right now. Young people, bro. They ain't ask me for no money.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. It's these teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that will affect the cure. To hell with the transfer from being a dope. They ain't even dope dealers. They want to be dope dealers. They not dope dealers, bro.
Yes,
sir. Not no damn dope dealer. Make a transition. You ain't got no money.
And it's interesting that you say that, Brother Abdul Malik. I had an experience a couple years ago where I was helping some young people run for elected office. And at the time, we had gotten some contributions where we would be able to employ them. And these were some of the brothers in the organized street organizations, some Bloods and some Crips. And interestingly enough, we told them, hey, we have a job for you. Tomorrow we was giving our palm cards out to the voters. But we said, you know what? You have to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. And if you have a collared shirt, put one on. You got a polo shirt, put that on, and maybe some khakis. And these are the same young people that our elders are afraid of, saying, you know, they in the gangs, they robbing, they stealing. These same young people got up, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, they met me at the train station and ready to go to work. And they were ready to work. Not, you know, and oftentimes we think, oh, they're lazy. No. If we provide an organized and a structured environment for them to thrive in, they're going to meet the challenge and thrive in that environment. So I totally underscore, you know, the point that you just made. Very important for us to provide a structured activity, and they're going to be attracted to that. So now we have, man, time flew by. We have 8 minutes left, brother. And I want to talk about this wonderful program that you have. And it's about praying and fasting, and how you've been able to get our people to pray more, to fast more, but more so than that, to do more. So if you can, talk to us a little bit about that initiative that you have going on, brother.
You know, the greatest commandment, the Pharisees asked Jesus one day. He said, what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus said, well, the greatest commandment is to love thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy spirit, and all thy strength. And the second is to love thy neighbor as thyself. From those two all hang. So I'm telling the brothers, I've been fasting for 73 weeks. This is my 73 weeks. I haven't ate since Thursday right now. The reason we started branching out to other people is because I saw the success in many of my fishing team and brothers and sisters that's with me. We saw that we get money, power, luxury, we get everything is coming our way, and we're not really looking for it. It's just coming in every day. So we start soliciting people to come in and start praying and fasting if you want it. The scripture says, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all else will be added on to you. But you can't come in here looking for money. You got to pray and fast in order for you to unlock that gift inside of you that's going to draw the money to you. And once you start it, man, you know how we do we fast once a month as FOI.
Correct.
And you know when you come and tell me that, I'll be mad at you that you reminded me, right? I'd be like, oh, you just blew me with this one. You was doing good all day. And that's only because our perception of fasting is warped. But now we fast not one time a month, but 4 times a month. And we do it with glee and happiness and joy. And that's why you see people on here texting in, talking about, I've been fasting for 27 weeks. I've been fasting for 50 weeks. They're talking about 50 weeks straight. They're not talking about once. They're talking about 4 times a month for 12 months. These are strong brothers and sisters. But anybody who wants to come out of being mediocre believers, mediocre Christians, if you want to come out of that, you got to do something to get it, brother. And if you want to join on and come to fasting and prayer, you have the flyer right there. Tonight, you can come in and witness tonight right there. There's a Zoom. We're going to have that at 7 o'clock, and there'll be hundreds of people on there that are fasting and prayer, and they'll give testimonies, and I'll introduce you to what we do and how we do it. But but I'm inviting everyone to come and change your life, man. Don't die without discovering your gift, your talent. The Bible either is right or wrong. It said you had talent. It said you had a gift. You ain't seen the gift yet. We too mediocre to know we had a gift. Mediocre don't describe a gift. Come on in, man, and learn how to do this, and you'll find out that it's easy. That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm gonna ask one of your capable helpers, Sister Majida, if she could put in the chat. She had it in there earlier, the coordinates for the meeting that you just saw on the flyer that was presented up. So Sister Majida, if you could just put it in the chat. And Brother Malik, as we're winding down, I see you have a beautiful FOI uniform on, and I know it's within a long line of tradition. In fact, we know our minister Louis Farrakhan represented that FOI top shoot, the number one soldier, shoot beyond that.
Yes, sir.
Man, took our nation from 0 to 100 real quick.
Real quick.
And we know that Muhammad Ali also was within the ranks of the FOI.
That's right. Instrumental. Yes, sir.
Instrumental. And there are so many others who have been part of the fold. However, the media, Black History Month, will not show this history. They will neglect even acknowledging how powerful the teachings of the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been when it comes to resurrecting our people. And you know, one of the things, brother, that I find speculative is the fact that they know that the Nation of Islam has a protracted history, and going behind those walls in the belly of the beast and transforming and reforming our people and making them contributing citizens to these United States, law-abiding citizens to these United States, respected fathers, respected mothers, and just all around good brothers. They know that there's been a teaching that has been awakening our people. And, you know, oftentimes we look at the life of Brother Malcolm and we think it's an anomaly, it's some sort of aberration, not realizing there are many who have been touched in such a way that you could take an 8th grade, a person with an 8th grade education, and under just 12 years of schooling under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, able to defeat Harvard, Yale, Oxford scholars. And they know that these teachings have that type of effect, but they'll do everything and anything they can to make sure it doesn't go beyond the prison walls. What challenges did you face in getting those teachings behind the walls, if any?
Yeah, it was horrible, because by me being a fisher of men in prison, they shipped me 7 times.
Wow.
I was in Oxford, Wisconsin. I got shipped for fighting to another one, El Reno. I got shipped to Pekin, Illinois. El Reno's in Oklahoma. And then I started teaching hard and bringing people in. They'll ship me to Greenville, teaching hard. They get me at nighttime around 2 in the morning when nobody's looking, wrap me up, hog tie me and take me out of there. No charges. And then ship me to Florence, Colorado. And the captain tell me I better not be doing what I was doing in the other joint. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm FOI. You know what you're doing, stirring up the natives.
Oh, that's what, man.
You told me stirring up the natives. We ain't natives. We're convicts. But he don't want us coming together. And that's what I represented. But I got wiser and I started doing stuff without them knowing it was me. And the 500 people show up, but they be looking around, know it wasn't me, because I had another methodology. But they shipped me around because of this, brother. That's what I went against. It's real when they say Michael and his angels fought against Satan and his angels. That's not nothing in the sky. They said that he overcame Satan and his angels by the blood of the Lamb, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the word of their testimony. You got me on right here giving my testimony, and I'm affecting people who got Satan riding them right now. And they bucking right now, trying to come up off that Satan ride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And brother Abdul Malik, we're at that point, man. And I just can't thank you enough, brother, for your spirit, for the work that you do, and just being that example to many brothers right now who are in a valley of decision. They're thinking, I may want to take that risk one more time to get this bag and see if I could beat the odds. And your testimony right now is providing them with a picture and an example that says, nah, man, there's another way to do it. There's some other way to do it. And I'm going to ask all our friends who are on Facebook, again, start a watch party and go back and repost this video. If you on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Brother Esquire, to NNV YouTube, and Brother Abdul Malik has a YouTube channel as well. Please subscribe so you can get more of this type of content. This is not the type of content you're going to get every day, because not everybody wants to see the black man rise. And looking at Brother Abdul Malik and the work that he's been doing, you can see very clearly that he's been touched, and he's been touched by Almighty God. So, Brother Abdul Malik, it's your closing remarks that we're asking for at this point.
I'm letting you all know. I went from a gangbanger to a mighty FOI. I went from the penitentiary to the penthouse. I make my life very well only because of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That is my example. You want to be like Michael Jordan. You want to be like Kobe Bryant. I want to be like Farrakhan. And if you want to be like me, and if you like me, and a lot of you like me, thousands of you like me, you don't understand it's not me that is Farrakhan. You will like the fruit and hate the tree. You got to be out of your mind, man and woman. You got to be out of your mind to like me, because you don't like me. You just like the way I am. But the way I am is Farrakhan. I imitate him. That's my father. That's my Messiah. That's why I behave. I would love to be out here selling drug, gang banging, and doing this. But he killed my desire to do that. And he's using me to kill your desire and make you come on in here with us. But you need to come on and try it tonight at 7 o'clock. You should come to the Zoom. What do you have to lose? Like Donald Trump said, what are you going to lose? What do you have to lose right now? Taking these shots from this COVID-19 and all this foolishness. And the minister done told you they're going to kill you. Now, white folk tell you that. You done took the shot. Now you shaking and acting like you okay. You're not okay. Listen to the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan. That's who I listen to. He's going to get you across to the other side. He's going to take you from death to life. All praises be to Allah. I just want you all to be safe, man. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to go to penitentiary. I want you to get shot in your stomach. I don't want you to catch cancer. I don't want nothing to happen to you, so then you'll start praying to God. Be proactive, not reactive. Don't get shot in your stomach, then say, God help me. And you ain't been asking for him for the last 2 to 5 years. Get on him right now so he can prevent you from getting hit, prevent you from going to jail, prevent you from doing all these negative things that could cause you, because he's going to humble you. Is you willingly or unwilling, you will bow. So I'm asking you to bow now to the God that's greater than you. May Allah continue to bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Again, we want to thank our brother Abdul Malik Muhammad for such a spirited segment. And to find him, you could go to Warren 2X Muhammad, Abdul Malik Muhammad on Facebook, or see us on YouTube, and we'll have it in the chat room. And again, thank you for sharing this afternoon with us. And we want to thank our broadcasting partners, National Network View, for carrying our program. And until next time, see you later. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Esquire here.